Well, hello everyone. My name is Jim Thunder. I'm an Economic and Business Development Officer here at the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, and I welcome all of you for joining today. I will be your MC for today, and I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are located on Treaty 1 territory and the traditional gathering place of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene people, and the traditional homeland of the Métis people. I'm pleased to be part of this event as we announce that the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs and the Children's Hospital Foundation of Manitoba have teamed up to fight the spread of picture of children that are going to be wearing these masks. You'll see from the design that these masks are symbolic of the very special and collaborative relationship between the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs and the Children's Hospital Foundation of Manitoba. These masks symbolize shared values for reconciliation, including the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action 18 through 24, which, among other things, highlight the importance of access to care and supplies on and off of each First Nation. It takes all of us working together to support the healthy futures of our First Nations youth. I now ask Elder Courchene from Turtle Lodge to bring a traditional blessing and to start off this event in a good way.
Bonjour, Anin, dene magnetok nigani atin dishne kas kinyon do tem sagim donji. In following the sacred duties and responsibilities in living life, we must always begin by offering our appreciation and gratitude to the Spirit for all the blessings that we receive in life. In truth, we are surrounded by Spirit, and prayer said in gratitude invokes the Spirit to come within our presence. Today, through the efforts of many people of the heart, the challenge still remains that our children still remain central to our duties and responsibilities. With the continued challenge of COVID-19, we must ensure all children be given maximum support and for their well-being and protection. And I just want to conclude by offering a prayer in the words of our people. And in conclusion, I say, Gije manido, kinanakomen. Netea ke kinanakomen. Atso kan. And the son danima, kinanakomenim. Miigwech. Thank you.
Thank you, Elder Courchene. And now to share more about the need in the First Nations within Manitoba and to speak more on this partnership, I am pleased to introduce Grand Chief Arlen Dumas to speak about what these masks mean for Manitoba's First Nations.
Good day, everyone. Bring greetings on behalf of the Chiefs of the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs. I want to acknowledge my good friend and ally, Elder Courchene, for that beautiful prayer. It's always an affirmation to begin things and be mindful of how interconnected we all are. I also want to acknowledge and appreciate everyone for this day. It's a beautiful day. We've been blessed with bright sunny day, and as good, vibrant, strong Manitobans, we feel that it's getting warmer, even though it's still close to minus 30. It shows a testament to our resilience. I also, just quickly, I want to acknowledge the concept of the masks and the collaboration. And it's important that although in times we have a path that we follow, our paths are always interconnected. And I just wanted to acknowledge all of that work and in the spirit of our children and the Children's Hospital and the good work everyone's doing. I believe, you know, just in the frame here is my son. He passed away a few years ago, but he benefited tremendously from the wonderful work that's done at Children's Hospital. He was afforded many, many wonderful things and blessings in his life. And it's these masks and these efforts that bring comfort in many, many ways. And it's very important to pay respect to that and acknowledge how important our collective work is, and as well to be in a place where you know you're safe, you know, and building this space collaboratively with our partners, showing our First Nations that they are a part of of these very important institutions that provide very important care to us. And the masks are a reflection and a testament of that good work. And you know, when we provide those masks and the children see them, they will be reflected in those masks, and not only in the images of that mask, but in the concept of that protection and caring and nurturing that comes along with being vigilant and protecting one another in light of the pandemic and all those things. But it is truly a wonderful day. I bring greetings and blessings on behalf of our chiefs. I'm honored to be here today and to be a part of such a momentous occasion. And with that, I thank all of you for the opportunity to be here today.
Thank you so much, Grand Chief. So as I mentioned, this project is made possible through a partnership with the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs and the Children's Hospital Foundation. So now I would like to invite Stefano Grande, President and CEO of the Children's Hospital Foundation, to share some of his remarks.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. First off, thank you, Elder Courchene, for your thoughtful words this morning and your wisdom over the last year in guiding our foundation on our path of reconciliation, collaboration, and celebration with the Indigenous community, and with the support of our Indigenous Advisory Circle. And thank you, Chief Dumas, for your kind words and your collaboration today, and thank you for sharing your personal story. I am appreciative to be here today to help share this wonderful news, because it is so important to the whole team at the Children's Hospital, our board, our staff, that we come together with community, to unify with our community leaders, with donors and families, to have the best health support and experiences for children, and especially now as we work hard in beating COVID in our communities. The Children's Hospital Foundation exists so our community can offer the best care and support to sick and injured children. We believe this support and positive energy right now to the First Nations in Manitoba is absolutely vital to the current and future health of First Nations youth. Children and teens from First Nation communities need to stay safe, healthy, and they need their families and community elders to stay healthy for them. There are also children and teens living on and off First Nation reserves who have ongoing medical conditions requiring care. Kids like 12-year-old Janessa. Janessa is from Partawagan. She normally loves to be outside with her 3 siblings and parents at this time of the year. But Janessa also suffered kidney failure, and in the midst of the pandemic, Janessa had a kidney transplant surgery at the Children's Hospital. You'll be pleased to know that Janessa is doing well right now, but still needs to visit the hospital weekly as part of her recovery plan. We need to ensure that Janessa and kids like her stay as protected as possible from COVID while they cope with illness or their injuries. I would like to invite you to please learn more about Janessa's story at goodbear.ca. And I would also like to thank her parents, Brenda and Gary, for sharing her story with all of you today. Chief Dumas and the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, I thank you again for the donation towards the health of kids like Janessa, and for the collaborative relationship we have had with AMC in developing these 4-layer masks featuring colors of the medicine wheel and with Jordan Principles, Spirit Bear, and the Children's Hospital Foundation, Dr. Goodbear, both symbols of strength, health, family, and courage. Our hope is that these really cool masks will help keep our children safer, and that the unified bears will offer support and comfort, reassuring the children to smile and to giggle during these challenging times. And we hope that masks can also play a small role among all children in raising awareness as to the importance of Spirit Bear, the symbol of Jordan's Principle, and the importance of Dr. Goodbear, the spirit of giving, and the meaning of the medicine wheel, which symbolizes the dimensions of health and the cycles of life in the Indigenous community. We are pleased to announce today that the foundation, through the support of AMC, will supply 20,000 of these masks for AMC to deliver to Manitoba First Nation communities, and to supply 10,000 of these masks to our emergency department at the Children's Hospital. The Children's Hospital Emergency Department sees 50,000 kids a year in need, and our hospital is very happy to have these masks to support the kids and the families that they care for. The Children's Hospital Foundation of Manitoba also has gratitude for the Children's Hospital Foundation's Indigenous Advisory Council, who guide us through collaborative discussions to move this idea to action for the benefit of our communities. Thank you to our committee chairperson, Rebecca Chartrand, and all the IAC members for their support, and in particular, Debbie Reed with the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, who helped nurture the idea and much more. Thank you for your leadership. It is this collaboration and commitment from community leaders that gives me great confidence that through this pandemic and beyond, we all can and we will to continue caring for kids. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Grande. So now on behalf of HSC and Shared Health, I would like to introduce Dr. Melanie Morris. She's a pediatric surgeon and a pediatric urologist and the lead of Indigenous Health at HSC Winnipeg Children's Hospital.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy. Chimigwech, Kosani, Marci, Elder Courchene for your opening words and prayer, Chief Arlen Dumas, and Mr. Grande. And thank you all for attending today in this extraordinary moment of collaboration, how to move forward and keep our children safe. We at the Children's Hospital are so grateful for the donation by the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs and the continued partnership between our organizations. The health of our Indigenous children really reflects the health and moral compass of our province and of our country. The Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs' leadership in protecting the health of First Nations children in our province resonates with me as a pediatric surgeon, but also for all of my colleagues who share in this commitment towards helping children. Wearing masks represents a commitment to both the health of oneself, the health being of your family, but also the health of your community. And our Indigenous people, our Indigenous knowledge keepers have taught us that strong and connected community is the cornerstone of health for our children. The Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs and the Children's Hospital Foundation are strengthening communities by stopping the spread of COVID-19 and making masks available for every First Nations child in our province. These masks not only protect communities from the spread of COVID-19, but as they contain the symbol and the colors of the medicine wheel, they also reflect a holistic health and a well-being. And the Jordan's Principle Bear also shows the commitment to maintaining a standard and a health and well-being of First Nations children across our whole country. And so I think this reflection and people seeing it will both reflect these principles that we hold so dear. Especially at a time where we feel powerless. We're in this pandemic, we don't know how to go forward. So these masks actually are a source of power. They're a source of taking control over the virus and a power to strengthen the resilience of our communities. These masks are 3-layer protection. So you're reducing the chance of both breathing it out and breathing it in. And if the mask is on properly, it can stop the spread. When it comes to an inner filter that you can add, it adds even more protection to preventing the spread of this disease that has had such a profound impact, especially on our communities. Please use these masks. Please use and cherish these masks because they're symbolic. They are important because they will help our children, they will help our communities, but they will protect our elders and our knowledge keepers and keep everybody safe. These masks are going to be distributed to community leaders and available for families coming to the Children's Hospital Department, or actually within our department, we look after 50,000 children per year. So this is not insignificant. And as a lead of Indigenous health at the Children's Hospital and on behalf of Shared Health, I am so grateful to the leadership of the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, the investment that they have made into child health, to the Indigenous Advisory Circle on the Children's Hospital Foundation, and also just the collaboration between the Children's Hospital Foundations, the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, to create this extraordinary project. Miigwech.
Thank you so much, Dr. Morris. And so for our final speaker today, I turn things over to Rebecca Chartrand. She's the chair of the Children's Hospital Foundation's Indigenous Advisory Circle, and she's the vice president of programs and student support at Inspire.
Bonjour, Tanse Anin, Rebecca Chartrand, Dijnakas, Wabashke, Mainkan Dudam. I just want to thank Elder Dave Courchene. Nice to see you, Elder Dave. And for the blessings that you bring. I'd also like to say hello to Grand Chief Dumas and thank you for all the support that you've been giving. A huge shout out as well to Dr. Morris and Dr. Lisa Monkman for all the amazing work that you do as Indigenous doctors in this province. So the work that you're doing is having such a huge impact. And so a lot of what we're doing really builds off the recommendations that you bring forward. And so I think it's important to know that all the efforts that you make are really making a difference. So thank you for that. And thank you to Stefano Grande for the invite to the advisory circle and the meaningful discussions that we've had around what that could look like and just looking at, who needs to be at this table to help move things forward. I feel honored to be in this position as the chair of this new advisory. And I do want to point out that when I was asked to participate, I had no idea about the numbers that we were seeing at the Children's Hospital in terms of our Indigenous children. And so for me, I was quite compelled to participate and do what I can to support these initiatives. So if you're not aware, 50% of the children that are served at the Health Science Center are Indigenous, and there's overrepresentation in areas like cardiac care, where 70% of the children are Indigenous. And that's all the more reason why we need to see these partnerships between the Health Science Center, the Children's, as well as the Children's Foundation and our Indigenous leadership. So thank you again, Arlen, for stepping up and doing this. I do want to point out that the Children's Hospital Foundation of Manitoba board members have made a huge commitment to supporting Indigenous children through Truth and Reconciliation training. So the board has received some training. They've engaged in the Kairos blanket activity, and it was their recommendation to set up the Indigenous Advisory Council. So just commending you for all of that work, Stefano, under your leadership. And these masks will definitely go a long way in terms of symbolizing the ongoing commitments that we're making to each other in addressing the issues of Indigenous children throughout the province, especially because, the mask holds Jordan's principal Blue Bear, and then the Children's Hospital, Dr. Goodbear. So I'm really excited about the unveiling of this. And just look forward to working with with everybody that's committed to this work. And I just have to thank Elder Dave Courchene Jr. again for your message. Like, your message is so clear, and it comes from a place of humanity. And it's so simple, but at the same time, it's it's not heard enough. And for some reason, we don't seem to practice, the teachings that we provide. And so I'm just so happy with the people that we've been able to pull into this advisory. So thank you. And I guess I'll hand that back over to Stefano.
Sorry, my apologies. Can you hear me? I'll hand it back to you, Jimmy.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much, Stefano and Mrs. Chartrand. And again, thank you to all of our speakers and to everybody who has been working on this important project. So now we come to the event where we have our big reveal. So these are the masks. As you can see, there is a 4-layer design to this mask. That's 3 layers of cotton, and there is 1 layer of a filter that can be inserted into the mask to keep everyone safe. And as you can see, there are also 4 colors of the medicine wheel: the black, the white, the yellow, and the red. And on the left-hand side, you can see Jordan Principle's Spirit Bear on the one side, and the Children's Hospital Foundation's Dr. Goodbear on the other side. Both of these logos are symbols of strength, health, family, and courage. And in this photo that we're also going to be sharing, this is Janessa and her siblings, who are happy to be wearing their new masks. And these new masks will keep Janessa, each other, and their parents better protected from COVID-19. So with that, I would like to now open up the floor to questions. Please use the chat feature in Zoom to send a message with your questions, along with who the question is directed to, and we'll direct it according to the appropriate representative. So go ahead and do that now, and we will be waiting for questions. So this is a question for Stefano and Grand Chief Dumas. How did this partnership start?
Well, maybe I can kick it off and hand it off to you, Chief Dumas, because this partnership really happened organically just through our shared vision of helping our kids in our province. And with a simple question to our Indigenous Advisory Circle: what can we do to help our kids during COVID, in particular in the spirit of reconciliation? And Lisa Monkman and Rebecca Chartrand started having some discussions, and before we knew it, we started engaging Arlen and his organization, and it just became a beautiful idea that blossomed into what we're seeing today. And again, just in the spirit of working together, trying to raise each other's voices as we deal with COVID, and as we work towards reconciliation, and as we celebrate some of the great things that are happening in our children's hospital.
Yeah, thank you for that, Stefano. And I'd also like to acknowledge the importance of relationships. I'd like to thank Rebecca for starting the conversation and introducing the opportunity to speak and meet. I guess that's the importance of it. And I also want to acknowledge our chiefs, and the leadership and the direction that they provide, and wanting to ensure that we're trying our best to provide to all of our members, regardless of where they are and what they need. And of course, our children are sacred, and it was just a natural progression, and it just makes sense. And that as we move forward, we need to do more and more things like this. And though we're specialized in our pasts, we have to remember that our pasts are interconnected, and we have to work together. So very grateful for being able to work together this way.
Great. Thank you so much, Grand Chief, and thank you, Stefano. This next question is also to the both of you again. And the question is, when will the masks be distributed?
The mask will be distributed through the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs in the coming weeks, and immediately through our emergency department at the Health Science Center.
Maybe Jared, do you want to speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, so the plan is once the masks have come in, we've already made arrangements with our early education programs that they're going to be shipping out all the masks to all the First Nations in Manitoba. They'll be distributed evenly between all the First Nations communities. So we're ensuring that all the communities will have some masks to use. So we're just waiting on the masks. We've already got the plan in place for the distribution.
I want to thank all the participants here once again, just for being part of this call and just for contributing to such meaningful, significant, and powerful conversation from those who are really, who care deeply about our children and about their health and about our future. So thank you very much to each panelist here. And thank you to each and every person who is watching, who's tuned in, and who's joined in this conversation. We want to encourage you to continue thinking about these things, to read Wabang, and to think about how we can improve the health of our children in our future. So thank you very much, and we wish you all good health.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rich.